Hey guys, this is Shegun Chapter for 7. I train traders how to trade in harmony with the market. So I'm going to be doing the analysis on the euro, US dollar, the pound dollar, and the dollar yen. If time permits me, I'm going to look at the CAD yen, what I've done the CAD yen before in a separate video, so I don't really want to be repeating myself. What we're going to do is we're going to use the 1 hour chart. This is a medium to long term analysis. We're going to be using the 1 hour chart to draw the big and the intermediate wave. The internal waves, which are the blue aqua lines, they are for execution, but I like to look at 5 minutes, as most of you know. And but let's crack on with it. The dollar, the euro US dollar is in a very interesting state. So this is the major wave. You can see the magenta major wave. But what I want to do actually, if we interpret this wave, okay, this is still a structure, and you can see we have a completed wave structure here to the upside with this wave. Give us 2 higher highs. So in theory, the move is still to the upside. But how do we make sense of this move? Are we ready to go up, or is the price continuing down? And that's what we're going to find out with our analysis. Okay, what I normally say to people is you don't have to let the market, you don't have to force anything. Okay, so let me just check this. Okay, you don't have to force anything when it comes to trading. You can pay attention to the price, or as long as you understand what you're looking for, number one, or you can pay attention to price behavior around some levels, and that behavior is going to give you a clue as to what you should be expecting. Okay, so with regards to the internal wave, so this is the last move down. Let's just analyze this one. You can see this thing is coming down. Let's just draw it. I don't want to be lazy with this analysis. We have to draw the waves out. Okay, so we draw from there. So I'm just following the internal the medium waves now. Okay, I'll change the color, and that would take you to why am I doing this? I could have done this before, but I don't want to do that because I'm sure some people will learn from this. Okay, and you can, well, I've showed you already the indicator that we're using for these waves. You can configure it to your own taste, but my configuration is based on the WavesOfSuccess methodology wave structure count. Okay, don't need to be perfect with these ones. Okay, as long as we can see them. There's an arrow there. Let me just leave that as it is. This is 1 3 5 5. So 5, we're expecting a move. The minimum move we're expecting after this completion is a break of this change of character above this medium wave here, and a pullback and a break of structure. That will confirm this place. But also we can see, if we look at this point here, let me just see this here. This is a low. Okay, we've broken once, we've broken it twice. So the trigger will be that price point here. So I'm not giving too much in terms of price points. I'm just going to do this. Anybody that follows this can figure this out. I'm just pointing out key areas that you have to be looking at, and I'm going to leave it as is. Okay, that will open up the upside. Okay, however, the next move is here, is to break here. So when we know that okay, the high probability direction is for price to move to the upside, we now can disregard everything and come down to these small waves. Okay, so now that we know what we're looking for, I'm looking at these small waves. This is where we can drop down to more lower time frame and start looking at 15 minutes chart or 5 minutes. But I'm not going to do that here because we don't actually need to do that here. We have the small waves. So let me configure the tool again. I'm going to hide all this. Even with this one, we can leave that one as it is, but I need the arrows for this because I can draw the waves. The wave count helps us to know where we are, okay? And that is why we use them. We don't just, they tell us what we should be doing. Okay, so let's count from here. I'm going to change the color. There we go. So that's the move. Then we had the low. We didn't have any change here until here. Then move all the way down. That one and that one, so it's still the same. So this is what we have. Okay, we saw a structure here. This is a momentum. If that is the first momentum, let me see. So this is the first momentum. Now we have a different picture. Okay, so we have a structure, a lower high and a higher high. So this is the first momentum. So this is going to be a sell. Okay, the euro in the short term, I'm talking about this week, from today tomorrow, excuse me, it's going to be a sell because that is the first momentum after the big move to the downside, and we now have to think of looking for buying opportunity below the lows. Okay, so my trade now, this is when I can, let's go to the 15 minutes chart. I'm spending too long on this video. Okay, so where we are right now, we don't want to be buying the euro. We want to be looking for selling opportunity in the euro US dollar. Okay, because the price formation, the wave structure, this is the first momentum high in the downside. The price will go and break the low. Okay, and so we just have to, it's now about timing. Okay, I don't really want to be talking about the timing now. Today time is 4:19, so probably not gonna get the move today, but we can start to look at the price action around this area to see when the price starts to go to the downside. But our move is from the current area of 115.70. We are not looking to buy the euro. We are actually looking for a bearish move to break the 149.12. Okay, just taking note of that price. Okay, so let's look at the pound and go back to the 1 hour chart. The pound dollar, haven't traded pound in a while actually. We, as for some of you know, I love trading the CAD yen because it just gives us everything that we need. But we have a move down. It's the same thing that's happening. So now that the euro has given us the clue, it's easy for us to analyze the pound. It's too messy. That's why I normally hide these dots. But when the time comes for us to use that, we will call upon that. I want to count the waves here. Okay. We have this is a structure here. Yeah, there is. So that makes our count slightly different. I need to change the color of that wave. Obviously, I could have done this before I started the video, but this is actually what you have to do in terms of counting the waves. What this helps us to do is it immerses you into the price action, so you can see, you drew it for yourself. You're not believing anybody else's word or an indicator doing it for you. They point us in the right direction, but we actually can get a better understanding by doing what I'm doing here. Okay, so we have 1, 3, 5. That's a completed wave structure. We've seen a change of character here. Hold on. Ooh, wow. Look at that. This here is valid. Okay, followed by a move. The pound, you can see here, ABC, that's a move structure. Wow. I'm trying to find this move. Yeah, it's just one. There's no pullback. You can see there's no down arrow here at all. Even though price came down, we had all this change of character, break of structure, and so on. But the price actually did not give us a pullback until this move here. Okay, and that is why it's very important to look at these things properly. Okay, that's the only eye. Price move from here and give us a lower high, then we have this move. Okay, so what does this look like? It's very similar. The euro confirms the pound as the dollar work. Okay, we're doing the same thing, but now let's switch back to pound and do the internal waves. So we know what is going on here. It has failed to make a lower low. Price has given us a higher momentum low. Okay, 5 wave structure is complete. We've seen this move. Okay, it's a single wave of the intermediate wave, but it's very strong. Okay, because you can see there's no pullback until here, but that price gave us a break here, a break here, a break here. Okay, so now we saw this move failing to make a lower low here. Okay, so we can draw the waves with this one. That's the last structure. That's the last structure. Wow. Then we have that one there, followed by a pullback. This actually, is this a lower low? I'll check it in a bit. That did not make a high. Oops, don't miss it. Perfect. So what do we have here? We have a structure, we have a momentum high. That is the first momentum high, because this one here gave us, that's the first move. This here, okay, also we have to pay attention to the major waves. We have a lower high here. The euro and the pounds are doing the same thing. Prices are the high, they are finding direction. If we draw the, excuse me, this here did not make a structure. That's the difference. So the medium waves, price may come here. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to be objective, knowing what I want to do. Okay, and that is very crucial. And the wave structure allow us to know what we have to do. Okay, so we don't have a structure on the big waves. The intermediate wave, we do not have a structure. The structure will happen once the price break here, and that will be the first structure. It is also the first momentum high. We are already at the momentum high, so I'm going to not buy the pound as well. Okay, for me, my best trade is to look for selling opportunity in the pound and the euro US dollar. It has taken a while to draw all these things out. I hope it is helpful. But for me, when I do analysis like this, you remember analysis is not execution. Analysis just help us to gain clarity, and I might actually confuse you by my by my analysis, but it's very clear to us what's going on here. So let's look at the dollar yen. I don't have much time again. The yen pairs they've been brilliant. Okay, we've seen the pullback. I was expecting the pullback early last week. It didn't happen until late last week. Eventually, we managed to capture the move, and price is ready to go back to the upside in the yen pairs. I'm not gonna waste too much time on it. Let's use the CAD yen because everything else they look the same. Okay, so we are going to use the CAD yen. You can see this is the one we trade actively. There's a liquidity somewhere here. Let me find it on my chart. I think we've traded it already today. The price we are looking for, or the price in question, is 110.60.59. Okay, 110.59. Get there, I think, yeah, around 10.59. So what this is, let me just switch to 5 minutes. Okay, as you can see, that was the move. We tried to sell somewhere here and here. Eventually price made a high, then finally we had the first move. Yesterday was a typical pullback day. That was the first pullback of the major move, testing the 150, 111.55. This was the number I gave last week. That is the daily momentum high. And for us, where we stand right now, there's potential for a reverse and a move back to the upside, okay, to test all this. And if that happens, the dollar will strengthen, and that will drag the euro and the pound down a little bit, okay. But we know this is a sign of weakness, this one here, but also in terms of price action, this move cries out for sellers, okay. That 135, that's the 5, but they broke it twice again. Okay, last week was we can call it manipulation day, but actually there was so much buying activity in the selling activity in the yen that pushed all this price beyond where they normally trade to. And also because we have all these daily key levels around here, so we are still selling, okay, but looking, I've closed the position now, but looking for an opportunity to buy from where we are right now, okay. And now that will take me to 19 minutes on this video. I'm going to do a quick short analysis with this one. Okay, so price is coming down. We're watching the waves. The pullbacks are the most important, those pullback. This is what I was explaining. When we have a downside and you have the momentum, the first momentum will manipulate, and that's what we're expecting in the euro US dollar and the pound dollar, okay. This is the first momentum in this downside wave, and that is why you could see a break now. This is a possibility, is an opportunity to buy, but we don't have to jump in, okay. Once the wave structure completes, let me enable this. Okay, you can see we don't have anything here. All we have is a structure. We need to see a break of this structure and a continuation to the upside. This has been a little bit